So, today we're going to be interviewing Robert Kennedy Jr. With Lotus Guide. My name is Rahasia, and we're going to be talking about the campfire. And I heard you went up there this morning for a quick run through.
Yes.
Yeah. How did?
Shocking.
Yeah, it is totally shocking, and I think that's the thing that people are going to come to grips with. My wife Dara and I were going to put in a Lotus Guide Center for Healing up there, because as the people start rolling back in, it's going to hit them what they're up against. Not for a week or 2 weeks or a month. It's years in the process, just getting the infrastructure back. You know.
There's no. I think the water lines and the sewer lines and there's no infrastructure there at all. It's hard to even imagine how people are going to rebuild there.
It's tough to imagine because we're in uncharted territory. This has never really happened to this extent, where infrastructure, shopping centers, homes, I think 14,000 homes.
14,000 homes, additionally another 5,000 structures, including 500 businesses.
Yeah.
It's really the heart of the community, and it's all, I don't even understand how they can do it, because there's not going to be any tax base in the community. There's nothing to pay for any
It's going to be tough. We're working with the Paradise Chamber of Commerce and the Butte County Small Business Development Center, and the challenge is going to be you have to get people up there, but the people don't want to come without business. You got to get the businesses up there, but they don't want to come without the people.
Right.
So it's going to be this finessing to get everybody to start trickling up. And personally,
there's also like businesses that we visited this morning, 2 antique shops that catered to the tourist business. Clearly, they employed people in the area, but they're family owned, and their inventories are completely destroyed.
Yeah. And how do you get antiques?
Right, it was clearly 10 or 20 years of inventory, because we saw, the skeletons of old bird cages and chandeliers and, a metal Christmas tree in one of the shops and the debris. And this is stuff that has been around for, their antiques, and that this family has been collecting for decades. So how do you even restart a business like that?
I'm not too sure, and I think that's something we have to be comfortable with, saying, I really don't know, and start coming together. Because when we were going around taking video, I would see a video of a house with a swing set. I'm thinking, oh my God, these are families with kids, and now they're living in tents. And it comes to the point of, we're so glad you're here with what you can do, because our main concern right now, obviously, is the people living in tents with kids and everything, but something has to be done to bring responsibility for this to the public awareness, and I think that's where you come in. So what is your plans here? What do you plan on doing?
We're doing a number of things. One is we're helping people pro bono. I'm working with Baum Hedlund, which is the law firm that I partnered with last summer in the Monsanto case, when we won, this historic $289 million jury verdict against Monsanto for Roundup. And the same firm, along with which has on its staff some of the best fire investigators and fire attorneys in the country, we're partnering to do a couple of things. One is, in the short term, to represent people pro bono in this area, anybody who needs help with their FEMA applications, their insurance applications, people who aren't getting a good response from their insurance companies, and we will help you with that, and we'll make sure that you have dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's and help you fill out your applications, and all of that is pro bono. Or people who decide they want to go ahead, that they have a claim against Pacific Gas and Electric or some of the other people who are responsible for the fire, and we will be filing mass action, not class action, but mass torts, in order to recover, one, for people who were underinsured, and for things that are covered in lawsuits but are not covered by insurance, like evacuation and the loss of pets, which in California you can now sue for the personal injury from that, not just the the market cost of that pet, for the lost income and from the many, many other losses that insurance won't cover.
You know, one of the good things about Monsanto case, for instance, the money was nice, you know, that always helps, you know, no matter what. But to make this information public information is what I think a lot of people are craving right now. We get emails and phone calls from people. They have questions about directed energy weapons and the chemtrails and I mean, everything is like going full bore right now.
Well, you know,
and there has to be a way to research that to give people answers.
Yeah, you know, I moved from Malibu a year ago into Brentwood, and so that otherwise my house would have been ruined by the Malibu flames. My sister's house did get injured, so she's had to now move out, and she was living in my house with their family as, you know, essentially environmental refugees during the weeks after the fire. But a lot of my friends lost their houses there, and we're representing a number of people. We're representing a lot of the people who were in Malibu who were injured. And I had a friend who's a famous actor who lost his house. And I said to him, you know, are you going to do anything in terms of the lawsuit? And he said, I don't think so, because I think it's just like an act of God, isn't it? I mean, the globe's getting warmer. Houses are going to burn, and, you know, it was our turn. And I said to him, that's not the way to look at it. There's somebody at fault for this life. If it was actually God, if your house got hit by lightning, that's one thing. But these houses were destroyed because of negligence. This community was destroyed because of negligence. If you know, it looked like a war zone up there. Yeah. If a foreign country did that to an American community, we would consider it an act of war.
Exactly.
But it was done, and it was done, you can't say deliberately, but it was done negligently, and it was done knowingly, and the outcome was predictable.
Yeah, that's the very best case scenario, that it was just negligence.
Right. Well, yeah, it was definitely, that is, there's no question of that. And this is a company, Pacific Gas and Electric, that had, in 2012, it had 5 of its towers in that same line blow over because of their age. Right? They were built in 1999. They rebuilt those towers in 2016, and they didn't bother investigating or inspecting the rest of the towers to see if they were structurally sound. That's just basic maintenance engineering.
Well, one of the towers that supposedly I hear that's caused this problem, that the firemen are telling me, was a tower out by Pulga that was over 100 years old.
Yeah, it was built in 1919, that tower.
Yeah, they're spending money on advertising that they're going to upgrade their infrastructure, but that money on advertising should have been spent on actually upgrading.
Right, and they've also gotten hikes in their rate base from the PUC telling the Public Utilities Commission we're going to spend that money on maintenance and upgrading our lines, but we haven't seen any evidence that they've done that.
So what do you think the chances are of, you know, as
and by the way, this company has been held responsible criminally. And as you know, in 2012, they had the pipeline explosion.
Right.
And the criminal investigation, they're under 5 years of criminal probation right now, because the judge found in that case that they had been falsifying data about their maintenance updates for 5 years. And they paid $1.6 billion. And while they're still on probation for that, this fire occurs, and it's clearly the same problem. They're not doing their regular maintenance.
And it's a little bit timely, to use the word reservedly. It's timely that they put in a huge base camp up on Skyway right before this fire. I mean, the base camp is huge, and my wife and I, everybody is going, wonder why PG&E has such a big base camp. And then if you look back in time a little bit, they got into our state and relieved themselves of the responsibility if something like this would happen. And our have access to a lot of taxpayers' money. What would you think about that?
About what?
About them having paperwork signed with our California government relieving them of responsibility in a situation like this.
I don't think they can relieve themselves.
I don't think they can either.
Yeah.
It's going to come out. It's not going to hold up. But all of these things.
I think we'll be able to hold them responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so, Robert, because there's a lot of people right now really counting on you and some of the other people here that's really stepping up. Because you know and I know, as the sort of media 15 minutes passes and a lot of interest is going to be lost in this, we're still going to have people in tents in fields with kids running around in the mud. And we need to keep a focus on this. That's why we want to put up this center in Paradise as a informational center, which you're welcome to bring all your information up to help people, because it's going to be the first and only business actually actively opening back up. So it should get a lot of the people coming up that's going to be going, oh my God, you know, and they're going to come in there looking for information. So you're welcome to bring whatever your information is. Do you have a website?
Yes, we do.
What's your website?
It's Baum Headland. B-A-U-M and then Headland. If you go to Baum Headland.
B-A-U-M?
H-E-D-L-U-N.
H-E-D-L-U-N.com?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make sure that gets on this. And the fact that we have a lot of videos out there of what happened up there, because we actually cruised around and took some, by odd coincidence, we were one of the only media that went up there and actually drove up and down the streets. We've had lots of views, so this should get some attention and hopefully help a lot of people. You know, and I know you're getting ready to continue your day, and I don't want to hold you up.
Well, thank you very much.
But I really appreciate your time, and it's a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, pleasure meeting you too.
It's an extreme pleasure. I mean, you know, my wife and I keep up with everything you're doing, environmentally and everything, and it's good to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
All right. Thank you. Oops, here, let me get this. Something tells me your day isn't through.
No. Just beginning.
Okay, can we string the cable?
Go for it.
Okay, thanks.
Make all the noise you want.